down to that floor, you let that echo, echo. Follow me to that floor, yeah, yeah.
It's Tuesday. It's 9 p.m. It's CGF Entertainment Radio Show with your host, Alice Boswell, and the CGF Divas Avis and Stephanie with comedian T Bizzle, live on IntellectualRadio.com, a part of iHeartRadio. Let's get started.
Ooh, good evening. It's cold outside. CGF, IntellectualRadio.com. We got to send a shout out to Alice. Alice is not here tonight. She's shoving carts in Walmart at her second job. But we got me, of course, your girl T Bizzle, along with cousin.
What's up?
Stephanie. And my special guest, Renee.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
And, of course, my girl down there. We the light-skinned family, Cherry, also known as Avis.
I'm special.
We having a good time tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. How was everybody's weekend? What you do, cuz?
Well, this was the Halloween weekend, so obviously I worked, but then I took the kids trick-or-treating on the coldest day of the year, and then me and my cousins stopped by and went by Cooper's Hawk.
Oh, you went to Cooper's Hawk without me again.
Oh, wow. You know what?
That's all right.
You know what? Every time you go to Cooper's Hawk, I'm gonna post something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I just went to go pick up my bottles.
Mm-hmm. Still didn't answer the question though.
Did you get your bottles?
That's what I thought. Let me go to my guest.
Did you go get your
Renee,
bottles?
How was your weekend?
She ain't answered my question. What kind of mess is that?
She just be doing me wrong.
Did you go get your bottles? You still got them?
Avis doesn't go without me. So, back to my girlfriend. Renee, what you do this weekend?
I had a very relaxing weekend. I'm actually a date night weekend. Yeah, so we went to the movies and dinner, and then I went to church on Sunday.
All right, praise.
Really, really, really relaxing. Nothing major. Little homework for school. That's it.
Oh yeah, you do everything. Work, school, date night. You ambidextrous. I love you. Cherry.
I went to church too.
Okay, you went to church.
You praise the Lord.
After you sinned and left me out of Cooper's Home.
Oh wow.
I
understand. I know. Hey, Pastor Betty.
Love and Right Ministries. Yes, yes.
Shout out to my favorite girl, Pastor Monique. She wouldn't go to Cooper's Hawk without me either.
Well, I thought y'all both was gonna say y'all was together for the weekend. I was just waiting to hear.
No.
What you do, Cherry? Besides work,
I went in on my day off.
Oh,
I worked the double.
So that's 100 hours.
Take the kids out trick or treat.
I don't do that.
Oh, you know?
You know how Avis is. She'll go to Walmart, buy 5 party bags.
There you go. They got a big old bag. Everything they would have got at somebody's house. So what's the point? I don't do that anymore. I don't see the point knocking on somebody's door to my trick or treat. Give them a few pieces of candy, they going. They not doing anything. Their uniform.
That's true. But poison you, that's it.
So I think Halloween should be now, for families to get their little cousins together and have a little party and decorate the kitchen to a spooky little scene and whatever, and have a party with the kids. Have them go a little hunting in the backyard for candy and things like that.
Right.
Make
keep
it
clean.
exciting. I don't think we should be going knocking on nobody's door because you never know what you might get.
Especially nowadays, you're right.
So right about it.
And that's a good way for somebody your enemy to get you. I'm not saying y'all got an enemy, just you're in the costume. You can't say what that person look like. That's the legal day to put on all that mask.
Well, I go with my kids and I drive my car, so
She takes their candy too.
You don't go around your house. You must drive out somewhere.
No, I go around my house.
Oh, do you?
Oh, she live in a nice neighborhood, so she can do that.
Them the creepiest ones. And
I ain't gonna say all that, but we went up the
folks
street.
ain't got nothing to do.
We went up the street. Right. Hey, last year they got 2-liter pops. Who gives 2-liter pops?
Well, they weren't giving that this year because the state tax, the city tax, the social tax.
No, but no.
That didn't happen in the hood. You got a Capri Sun, and that was it.
And you still get taxed on that. But
I don't. I got Link.
You know what?
I don't get taxed. Sorry.
But no, they was out for a couple hours. They got some pretty big bags. They give them the full size bars that don't buy them.
Oh, like Michael Jordan used to do.
Yeah, that's the bougie.
He didn't bring the miniatures a long time ago. He's getting the big.
Give them the full size bars. They be all excited.
I would be too. Full size Snickers, Reese Pieces, and a 2-liter pop.
But you know they said on the news that when you eat your Halloween candy, you might as well eat it all in at one time, because taking little pieces here and there mess up your teeth worse.
I didn't know that.
I'm thinking like, you know, at one time. Who the hell gonna eat it?
Right.
What are they talking about? You mean all at one time? Like, you know.
Make your teeth work. I mean, that's like snacking. I mean, food can make your teeth bad. You just got to brush and floss. Brush and floss.
That's true.
Go to the dentist. Man, you know what? Okay, so I am going to say, you know what? This past week I did go to the dentist. As a matter of fact, Dr. Odom.
Did you?
Yeah.
Smile so everybody can see. I didn't say stick your tongue.
Right.
How many teeth did you say she had?
62.
Well, you know what? I do try to go to the dentist every 3 to 6 months. And I'm going to say
you must got a cute dentist.
No.
Hey, Dr. Odom.
Okay, so I go because my family have this thing called bone degeneration. So they are prone to lose their teeth at an early age. I want all my teeth when I go.
Okay.
So I keep up with them. Keep up with my kids' teeth. I put, sealants on their teeth so that they don't get cavities. And if the sealant come off, they put the sealant back on for free to keep them from getting cavities.
My daughter, the white thing.
It's
like caps.
It's kind of like, but not sort of.
My daughter got them placed on hers.
And they put them on all their permanent adult teeth so that they don't have to worry about teeth.
So when you bite down on the candy and all that,
they can't eat chewy and hard foods and things like that.
Laffy Taffy, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they should not. But if you take them to the dentist every 6 months and be sure that they're still there, they'll replace it for free. You miss that 6-month appointment, that's another $1,000.
Well, $1,000 for you, but
Right.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm going to take care of you until you get like 18. I'm going to take care of your teeth, your hair, your health, everything. And the moment you get grown and you don't take care of yourself, because I hear a lot of people go, my parents didn't give me braces. My parents didn't do this. My parents didn't. No, I'm going to take care of you. Then when you get older, I ain't going to hear that. My mom didn't take me to this. Yeah, no, I did.
Speaking of take care of you, what else did you do this weekend?
Tried to do something with this hair of mine. So, okay.
You used to be
wig glitches.
No, see, I didn't tell your business. You was all natural.
Oh yeah, so I went and I only permed my roots though.
Now what did that mean? I still don't know what that means.
I only perm the from here to here. Like
so the rest of your hair nappy?
Yeah. So if I hit some seam, it's over.
So he just took your money, huh?
No. He had me. Did you see my pictures? He had me looking beautiful at first.
But he gave you a half a perm, so he gave you an earn.
Well, you're supposed to perm roots anyway.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No, I'm supposed to actually have gotten a virgin.
But you need to get a hole. You need to hit down your hole.
You see all this hair, her hair down her backside, and he just did the middle.
Well,
you haven't had a perm in a while, so you should have had that hole. 4 years.
I thought you told me since 8th grade.
No, girl. 8th grade, girl. Nah, in the last 4 years, I haven't had a perm since I started wearing wigs.
Okay.
I stopped perming my hair, and then I started cutting it and just conditioning. Then I was making my own oils and stuff like that, putting it on my hair. So when I decided to get my hair permed, I was actually in the process in the shower detangling my hair, and I was like, "What is that? What is that?" And then I realized that was my hair going down my back.
Or do you have hair on your back? I'm messing with you. You ain't got no hair on your back.
So, I don't know. I can't say that. I can watch it. I don't see it, but hey. But so that's why I don't take vitamins.
Girl, what you say about the vitamins? Remember?
I said if I take vitamins, right? Because I have a lot of hair. I have long eyelashes, a lot of hair. I'm just hairy, you know. I told her, I said, I cannot take vitamins because those vitamins, it don't tell the hair on your body where to grow. So if you're always, you know, shaving up under your arms every other day or whatever, you have to be careful because every now and then you might get that, you know, one or two that you might have to pluck out. So if you're taking vitamins, it's gonna make all the hair grow. I was like, girl, about in a week, I'll be part of the beard gang.
That's what like, yeah, you can't have no vitamins.
They say you can wash your hair with them though.
What?
With
Medicare vitamins.
You know what? I'm not. You know what I did? I stopped shampooing my hair with shampoo.
I used to wash it.
I just
they say
and then I shampoo your hair with
make your hair grow.
I shampoo it with conditioner. I just take some regular old cheap conditioner.
Oh, dollar store conditioner.
And just, you know, rub my hair. Because you know what? Whenever I
let me do stuff that grow you stuff, the cheap stuff.
They sure do.
You know what? And that's what it is too, because I'm not using harsh chemicals, and my hair gets really, really dry really, really fast. So it's hard for me to keep moisture. It's hard for me to keep moisture in my hair.
That's because you're not a woman. Not you. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep moisture in my hair. So that's why I use just conditioner. But it actually helped my hair grow faster. So.
Okay, so we officially know you drink wine and you're in the beer game. So we're gonna move on to my special friend tonight, Miss Renee Cooper.
Yes, ma'am.
That's my girl down there. I had the pleasure of meeting Renee this year through the Ice Cream Lady, and we were celebrating for the month of October. Is also cancer awareness and also domestic violence awareness.
Yes, ma'am.
And Renee is our special guest tonight. Renee, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your organization. And if you don't mind, share your story.
Okay. Well, thank you. First of all, I'm honored to be here. So thank you very much for inviting me, T. Bizzle. I had the pleasure of meeting T. Bizzle, like she said, at a domestic violence walk. I believe it was like the second weekend in October. And by happenstance, I really wasn't going to go. I ended up going at the last minute. And we have a mutual friend by the name of Yolanda Carter who was there speaking as well.
Okay.
So being there, I was actually there to support. I do have my own organization called For My Voice Matters. And what I do is I bring awareness to domestic violence. I'm not 501c3 yet. I'm working on that. So eventually I'll be able to have my own shelter, be able to do different things, be able to get funds from companies and things like that to be able to do the bigger things that I want to do in the future. Well, right now what I do is I bring awareness. So I host events. I do like bowling events. I do paint parties. I had a intimate conversations, which is my thing that I want to do in 2018. I want to do at least 4 of them. And what it is that it just brings conversation about domestic violence. Domestic violence is not just in the month of October. It is 365. It's probably happening to people that very, very close to you. You may or may not know. You may notice the signs and may ignore the signs. And that's what my campaign has been about lately. I have a t-shirt that I have out and it says break the silence. And basically it is because no one talks about it. It's like the big elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. It'll sit here with you all day long. You'll notice the elephant, you'll look at the elephant, but you won't talk about the elephant. So I'm someone who wants to bring awareness to the elephant in the room, to just have people aware, because I was in my situation for approximately 15 years. And I'm not going to say that people did not know, but I did a very good job of covering it up. I wore a mask all the time. I laughed. The person that you met has been the person I've pretty much always been, but I would go home behind closed doors to my abuser, which was my ex-husband. I would live a lie. So basically what my story is, like I said, I was in a relationship 15 years, and I seen the signs before I married him, and I chose to ignore him, thinking that he would change, that things would get better, because of course it was not a burning bed situation every day. It wasn't like I would come home and get jumped on every day. There were good qualities about him that I did fall in love with. So thinking that people would change, and pretty much, I believe so many people have said it, Maya Angelou being one of them, when someone shows you themselves, believe that that's who they are.
Yes.
But like I said, I was going to church, heavily in church, in ministry, and I really prayed, and I wanted God to change him, and I decided to go into covenant with him in marriage. My covenant in marriage was very important to me. And when I tell people all the time, when I tell my story, that when I got married, I didn't just marry my ex-husband, I married God. And so my biggest thing about being trying to step away from the marriage when I knew I should leave, or just kind of felt that things weren't going to get better, was I beat myself up thinking that I was disappointing God, that my relationship I was breaking covenant with God, not just with my husband, even though I know God mentally. And it's crazy because mentally I knew God doesn't want me to live this way. Biblically speaking, this is not how God wants me to live. But because I loved my ex-husband, because I wanted things to work out, I truly believe that this is where I was supposed to be, until God gave me a sign.
In your mind,
exactly. I tricked myself out. Yeah, pretty much. So just moving forward, things got good, things got bad. He had a girlfriend for 7 years of our relationship, so a lot of people didn't know all about that stuff that I was holding on to. Like I said, I walked around with a big mask. Even my closest friends, like I said, even if they seen signs, they would not. I don't know if they didn't think they could approach me. I don't know if they thought that because I was kind of strong-headed, even though I was fearful that I might get mad at them. I don't really know. I did lose a lot of friends in the process of this, though, as well.
Really?
So, yeah, several friends. Some friends have even, it's really funny, after they found out, because he told on himself when everything came out, he told people that he had been abusing me. And it's funny how even when he told certain people what he had did, some of my friends chose to remain friends with him. Be friends with me. So...
And this was after his confession?
Yeah, this is after his confession. And so just kind of getting up to it now so we could discuss it more, because I'm quite sure you're going to have some questions, because I told Teresa the story. But 2008 was very pivotal for me. 2008, I decided that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I asked God that I told him I wanted to exit this. And I tell people all the time, if you believe in God and you're a praying person, and everybody believes in their own higher power, whatever. I don't put God on anybody, but this is just my story. Right. So I told God I wanted to exit this, and I wasn't specific. And I tell people all the time, when you pray, you have to be specific. So my exodus came October 26th of 2008, which was about a little less than a month ago. I just celebrated 9 years, about a month ago. And I came home the night before I was out with a friend celebrating a book signing, and I did some other things that night. And then when I got home that next morning, we were having company over, and he was upset because I didn't spend the week before for his birthday, but from July until October, I pretty much told him I was done. We need to sell the house. We were just typically going to be roommates. I'm going to do my thing. You do your thing, because you've been doing your thing anyway. I just need to get out of here.
You was going to do a Keisha Cole and Booby.
Pretty much. Okay, yeah. So that morning, I was getting the house together for company that was coming over. And he came and just wanted to start an argument. And for whatever reason this day, I don't know if I put on a cloak, a super Wonder Woman cloak or something, but I was just like, I'm not having it. I'm tired. I'm not going to do this. If you want to argue, go upstairs, argue with yourself. I'm just not having it. And now what I will tell people all the time is, if you're in a situation, the best thing you could do for yourself in a situation is to, if you don't feel like you could tell law enforcement, at least tell somebody. And even though you may not feel like you're ready to leave, let someone be aware, somebody that you confide in, somebody who's not going to judge you, okay, or that you hope wouldn't judge you, but confide in them. Because what I realized in the 15 years I had been with my ex, that if I would have stabbed him that day, because when he picked up a beer bottle, I picked up a knife, stabbed him that day, I would either be in jail for assaulting him, even though I had been dealing with years of abuse, because I didn't have a record of it. I never called the police. I never told anybody anything. So I guess with me picking up the knife and saying what I said, I guess he looked at me in a different light. And he was like, well, you know what? Just get the F out my house. We ain't do that. I said, your house? He was like, yeah, my house. I was like, well, if you could do this by yourself, I'm gone. So I was smart enough not to try to go and grab anything in the house, because the way our house was made, if I would have went upstairs to grab a bag or some clothes or something like that, I would have been trapped. Right. So I grabbed my keys and went outside. And long story short, he took my car keys. He took my car keys and took my phone. And then I had to get away. So finally, this, that, and the other went through. I finally filed for divorce. 2 months, 2 days afterwards, I was coming home from a church service, and I was gunned down in front of my parents' home. Oh, so I was getting out of my car, walking across the grass, and the perpetrator came from behind a tree, said some obscene things to me, told me don't move. And I really thought it was just going to be a robbery. All I had on me was my truck and the phone. I didn't have any cash or anything on me. But he told me don't move, called me a couple names, and I stood there with my hands up. And then he cocked the pistol. That would let me know that it wasn't a robbery, that this was intentional. So instinct tells you to run. So I did. I ran. And the first shot hit me in my lower back. And that's the bullet, I believe, that went through my vertebrae. My 12th vertebrae hit my spinal cord. So I was paralyzed from the waist down. And then he stood over me and shot me 3 more times.
So you got to see who the
Yes, I
person
actually
was.
got to see him. Described him as best I could after being under the best medicine that a hospital could ever give you, called morphine.
Yes, pain medicine. Yes, yes.
When they give you morphine, when I came up out of it, I gave them the best description I possibly could. But unfortunately, my perpetrator was never found. And quiet as it's kept, no dots could be connected to actually infiltrate anybody else. So yeah, that's I was like literally paralyzed for 2.5 days. All my vital organs were hit. I was in surgery for 4.5 hours. My lungs collapsed on the operating table. I say, but God, because anybody that I've known people to get shot one time and not make it. But literally, I had 2 bullets ricochet off of every organ in my body except for my heart. So the miracle in all of this is, 1, I'm still here. 2, I'm walking. But I got shot on a Sunday, had feeling in my legs by Wednesday morning, walking by Friday, out the hospital by Monday. So
that's definitely a miracle.
God is good.
So definitely a miracle.
So it took me a while. Of course, it took healing has to take place. I told my story at churches when people who knew me, because back then I was in ministry, people who knew me and knew what was going on. I had people coming to the hospital praying for me. I had people calling my mom, my best friends, checking on me, trying to see what was going on. And when I got better enough to travel, I would go to churches or people would call me. And when they would see me, they would ask me to come and share my story. And I would share it. But thing like now was I kind of downplayed it, just glory be to God, I'm still here. This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. What happened was I lost a girlfriend 4 months after I was gunned down to domestic violence as well. She was shot point blank in the chest. She's here from the Maywood area. And her sister decided to start a domestic violence walk in October of 2015. Would I come and share my story? And also I blow what they call a shofar, which is a ram's horn. And she asked me to blow the shofar to begin the walk and at the end of the walk to share my story. And I decided just to see, I guess out of curiosity, but I'll say it's a God thing too. I decided to film it and put it on Facebook and YouTube. So between Facebook and YouTube, I got close to 5,000 views. And my best friend, who was also my pastor, who's my coach, my life coach, my motivator speaker, always put a foot in my back. Tell me when I'm right, tell me when I'm wrong. But she was like, what are you going to do with this? And I'm like, it just got 5,000 views. This is cool. Hey, woo-hoo. And she was like, no, you need to do something with this. And I'm like, I got nothing for you. And we went out. Husband, we were out at lunch one day and we were just talking and they brought it up again and she kept saying, Renee, God didn't bring you through this for you just to sit on this. You need to do something with it. So that's how For My Voice Matters was actually birthed in November of 2015. So the number 4 is for the times I was shot, and My Voice Matters for the fact being I lost my voice and now I have it back and I refuse to lose it again. So starting from that, February of 2016 is when I actually kicked it off and started doing fundraising efforts, raising money. And what I do with the funds that I raise, I donate them to different shelters. Or if someone needs a hotel room, stay for a night because they're trying to get out of a situation, either clear their head or they need gas money, something for their kids. Because, abuse is not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's financial. And when perpetrators are trying to hold on to somebody, they'll hold your money if they have that type of control over you. So they'll say, well, we're not going to give you money for your kids. We're not going to give you money for this, that, and the other. So whatever funds I have, they generally just go out. So this year, like I said, I took a different turn. I had a death. I lost my mom in March. And I was really going to kind of shut down. I really didn't want to do anything because my mom was one of my biggest supporters. And after the mourning period, like the Bible gives you, here comes Mo again talking about, hey, You ain't did nothing all year. You need to do something with this organization.
I love Mo.
And I'm like, the organization can do what it's going to do. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. And she was like, no, we got to do something. So I connected with somebody in Atlanta. I'm going to behave myself. Connected with somebody in Atlanta and brought them here. And I did what I call my first intimate conversations. And again, this is something that needs to be talked about.
Yes.
So it's not me just raising money, but it's also me actually bringing awareness. So this is something I want to do at least 4 times a year. And I'll have different panelists come out. But what we're doing is we're talking about it to make it a conversation. People talk about breast cancer awareness. They talk about pancreatic cancer. They talk about everything else under the sun. But when it comes to domestic violence, because so many people are in it or so many people are affected by it and they're fearful, they don't want to, come out for fear of losing something, for fear of dying, being hurt, whatever it is. But if we just start looking for the signs, and I'm not saying that, if you see a sign, just snatch that person out. It's not that easy. But we need to be more conscious and more aware of what's going on. I believe that we can get this just like a disease. Everybody's looking for a cure for cancer. Well, I'm looking for a cure for domestic violence. And I believe it starts with our youth. So I was very honored weekends ago that I got to speak to about 25 to 30 youth. Yes. And that's why I seen you. T. Bizzle came out and took pictures and supported me, and I thought that was awesome. So my campaign in next year is not just getting with and I mean just all genres. It's men that are abused. It's women that are abused. It's children that are abused. So this is not just me just talking. I'm just talking to women, but my heart is for the children, because when I started this thing, it was going to be more about me mirroring people like myself, people that have been through what I've been through. But what I realized is if we can get to the root of the matter, if we can get to the kids, if we can get to teenagers, college kids, there's so much teen dating violence and college violence where people are dating and getting in relationships and then they're being abused, whatever have you, that it needs to be talked about. They sweep it under a rug and then they go on further into their adult life. And even though they may be out of that relationship, it causes them to kind of fall back into the same thing because the same type of man or woman is attracted to them and they don't know how to break that cycle. Right. So if we start talking about it with our youth, if we start showing them signs and giving them things to tangibly see, I think that we could do a great work. I think I was kind of nervous when I did it because I hadn't spoken to teens before, but I believe that the outcome, and I don't know, you were there, so you can kind of say how the children reacted and how they responded.
Those were actually well-behaved teenagers. So that's one of the reasons why it was good, and they were active in the group, very respectful. What was the lady's name? Dada?
Oh, her name is Diana Dada.
Diana. I had the chance to meet Diana Dada, and those kids were very respectable. She would tell them to greet the adults and everything, and they listened. I do notice the teenagers, they like to play hit and wrestle, but they also don't understand that that's also a form of abuse. Because we didn't play hit and wrestle. At least I didn't back in my day. If it was a hit, it was, catch a boy, kiss a boy, something like that, but not the way that they do, nowadays. But that was a good event. And Renee, before we go to our break, give everybody your handle where they can contact you at, all your information.
Okay, so on Facebook, it's the number 4, and My Voice Matters. I have a website, and I'm for myvoicematters.org. Same thing. It's the number 4, myvoicematters.org. For My Voice Matters on Facebook. For My Voice Matters on Instagram. On Twitter, it's matters_4. My phone number is area code 708-713-3686. That's the organization's phone number. So again, that's 708-713-3686.
All right, ladies, did you all have any experience or have any friends that were a part of domestic violence? You got me scared.
She was violent.
Right.
She was violent.
Yeah.
She was the abuser.
Lock up.
Just make you go over, that's why you have to be careful who you date. Okay. Don't let nobody push you to where you can't think, because you go to flying them hands before you know it, throwing stuff, so. So when you said men abusers, because was that last week we was talking about that?
That wasn't me.
Last week on the show when we were saying that we was talking about domestic violence, and I had made the statement that too. We can't always look at the woman, because there are men that are here that are suffering. Because sometimes, like, I teach my boys. No, I ain't never teach them not to hit a woman. I teach them. No. This is what I teach them. Do not reframe yourself. However, if you have to defend yourself, do it by any means. Don't just let nobody, I don't care who it is, come and attack you. However, so a lot of men are taught, don't hit a girl, don't hit a woman, this, that, and the third. So if she's over there, slapping him upside his head and doing all this craziness, then, that was me.
I will say this, when it comes to things like that, I do, when I tell young women, and I say all the time, you have to be careful, especially if you have a counterpart that is quick-tempered, or anything. Nobody should put their hands on anybody, but I do believe in what you said about defending yourself. But if a man can walk away, I tell them also to walk away. But if the woman is following them, I mean, there comes a time where enough is enough. And I tell females that if the man is walking away, let him walk away. He's walking away for a reason. And if you keep pushing the button and antagonizing them, you can't be responsible for how somebody responds. I mean, every action gets a reaction.
Right. And they was talking about that on, was that The View, when Whoopi Goldberg said, you put your hands out there, don't be surprised
what happened.
But but look at the situation on the news. Girl was getting all belligerent. They had to detain her, and they had her. One had his arm, mother had his arm, and she got to swinging and hit the cop, slapped the cop. Cop reaction, wow, he slapped the back, head went back, and so now they trying to say, she's in trouble for assaulting a police officer, and they trying to see should they recommend him for what he did. And people
but
talking about
that's a normal reaction,
Well, they saying it's no reaction, but at the same time they saying the men's are much stronger than women's, and they think that he shouldn't have just hit her back. I don't care what nobody say, male or female. You put your hands on somebody, you should be able to get knocked down. Females nowadays, these women nowadays are strong. These women nowadays are very, very violent. So you thinking just because you hit a man and they are a man, they got feelings just as well as anybody else doing. Just because society say they supposed to be strong, or they don't supposed to cry and this and that, you hitting somebody, you being violent. You know better. You know what you don't supposed to do. So by all means necessary, I say, if you put your hands on that man, get expect to hit back.
Well, I agree with Whoopi. I mean, ask Rihanna. She just kept on Chris Brown. Your CD didn't hit. You can't dance. And he probably said, "Leave me alone, Rihanna. Leave me alone." And then,
But that's where the conversations come at. That's what my campaign is, really, to have conversations with those type of people as well. And when I say men are abused too, a lot of times men, because they're taught to be strong and not talk about it, not to cry, that they won't talk about it. But most times they might not be physically hurt or abused, but emotional, especially when you're going through marriages or things like that. There are so many times that men are neglected by women because women think they run something, or they could hold something back, or they could talk to me in any kind of way. I mean, we're supposed to, especially us building up our black men, we have enough going on outside of our homes. We have to deal with other nationalities outside, and then when they come home, it's supposed to be a place of peace, and then they still got you not treating them right, not talking to them, not paying them any attention, constantly nagging. That's a form of abuse. If I can't come home and have peace, then what's the purpose of me coming home? And then so it becomes more emotional and spiritual or financial for men, even though some men are. I mean, I do know some men that have been hit as well, and they decided to walk away from the situation. They got away from the situation, whatever have you. But I know a lot of men that suffer because they got into relationships where they love their mate, and they feel like they want things to work out, but they're downtrodden. They're constantly depressed. They don't know, they're coming and going, and the woman is just living their life doing whatever have you. And then they wonder why men go out and do the things they do.
Oh, they just do that anyway because they just dog. It don't matter, yeah. They some punks, they some dogs, it's they little male instinct.
Exactly.
Sniff the kitty cat, get in the kitty
And
cat.
they get all upset. Yeah, we
you can be the best one.
You
You can be good at being financed. You can be the biggest freaking bed. Sometimes them dogs be going out seeking for that look.
You're right. We're right. We know some emotional men.
So it don't matter.
We're going to talk about one of them when we
are.
come back from our break. Speaking of
Look
my
at
baby
Kevin Hart.
Tyrese. No, we're going to talk about Tyrese and his emotions because he's a domestic violence survivor. So we'll be back in 2 minutes or two. We'll have Never Too Much and news around the world and my special guest, Renee. We'll be back. CGF.
You got me right. You got me right there, breaking it down, Oh, what's on my mind? That I'm ready to break down. Wasting me time because I'm ready to break down. Between the lines, but I'm ready to break down. I'm used to being at the top, but tonight it's going down. You saying you the king, well baby, show me the crown. And you say you love that action like a verb to a noun. But see, I'm something like a shell, the way I tend to sound. Them dudes be hating, but what's a breeze if you call? My hands around your body while we on the floor. And they tight, what I like. Think I'm ready to break down. Hey, you got me right. You got me right, yeah, breaking it down.
It's Tuesday. It's 9 p.m. It's CGF Entertainment Radio Show with your host, Alice Boswell, and the CGF divas Avis and Stephanie with comedian T Bizzle, live on IntellectualRadio.com, a part of iHeartRadio. Let's get started.
All right, we back. Thanks for coming back. My cousin has a question for Renee.
Earlier, before the show started, you say that you have a new love in your life. So how did you overcome such a traumatic event in your life to be able to open up and trust and be able to love again?
All right, that's a good question.
That is a really good
That's
question.
a good question.
All right, now.
This is Renee.
That's that perm.
We should record this.
We should record it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very, very transparent. For lack of better words, for the last 7 years, 7 years, I've been a real beat.
Okay.
So I became dude in relationship. If you couldn't meet up to my standards, if it wasn't what I wanted, how I wanted, when I wanted it, then I wasn't being bothered. Most times I wasn't even looking for a relationship. I'm sorry. Okay. I wasn't even looking necessarily for a relationship. So I would date, and then when somebody would try to get attached, I would disattach myself. I wouldn't try to be bothered. I wasn't trying to. I just wasn't even trying to be bothered. It was really, and it was that part of me just said, I don't want to trust again. I don't want to. It's too much. It's too hard. I've been through too much. I don't trust the next nigga to put his hands on me. And if he do, he gonna draw back another. So I went through a whole plethora of emotions. There was a time that I did not date. And then when I started dating, I tried to get into a couple relationships, but then, and I know in any relationship, you may have some disagreements, some red flags that you may have to overlook per se, pay attention to them. But everybody has their own quirks, and you should be able to communicate. Communication is a big key. But I was so to the point whereas if I seen one red flag, lose my number. Don't even worry about calling me no more. We can't discuss it. We can't make up about it. Nothing. So the funny thing about now,
Look at her, she turning pink.
Because we be having date night.
Yeah, she is pink.
So,
you need some pink Erica.
The funny thing about this now is, for me, this person has been a part of my life for a very, very long time.
Oh, okay.
We've been friends for years. I mean, we've fallen out, made up, fallen out. We've seen each other through different relationships, but we've always seemed to come back. And this right now is new and it's fresh for us because we never actually really dated. So I could say that I kind of kicked it off because I made a phone call because I came back from a certain area and I said, well, since this particular thing didn't work out, I'm really tired of the online dating thing because I hadn't been catfished, thank goodness. But most men that I have met, I'm not gonna say all men, most men that I have met on dating websites, they really are about playing games. And again, I'm that no nonsense person, and if I see it, I'm gonna call you on it immediately, and then you can lose my number, and I'm not gonna talk to you, whatever have you. So, I kept and with the intention of saying I'm gonna date my friends. And I meant just my friends, meaning that there's no strings attached. If we hang out, we hang out. Then I know I'm safe. I trust you because I know you. And I mean, I don't have a lot of male friends, so I was just gonna kind of like run this little game, be like, okay, we're gonna call this person first, this person.
All seven.
When I feel like I want to go on dates on this one, so I happened to call this one particular one.
Pookie, hey Pookie.
And yeah, we had never dated before, and we went out because we're just so comfortable with each other just as friends. It just seemed natural, so we just started spending more time together and trying to figure out what we were doing, and it just kind of fell in. It's real good right now. We're both happy. We don't smother each other. We talk all the time, which is awesome.
Talk, not text, right?
Right, talk. Well, we text too, but we do talk. I mean, we can sit up. Like, I think the first thing that like really got us because we went out to dinner, and time just really got away from us. We sat there for like 3 hours.
Where you go for dinner? Cooper's Hawk?
No, Sullivan Steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
Yes, with the Sullivan Steakhouse, and I loved it every minute. Like I said, we talked for 3 hours. We hashed out some things, about our past relationships, things that we may have done to each other to offend each other that we didn't know we offended each other about. We apologized for, and just started hanging out. And then we sat one night he decided to cook dinner, and I went over there, and we talked for like 5 or 6 hours, like nonstop, laughing, joking, playing music, reminiscing, talking about these events, talking about things we've gone through in our relationships. And it just, like I said, it was just real comfortable. And I haven't been this comfortable probably ever.
Oh, wow.
And it's something to be the age that I am now to have this. I mean, something that, we can apologize and say, oh man, maybe because like I said, we've known each other for forever. Maybe if we would have did this back then. And I'm like, no, maybe not. Because back then it might not. And that's something he said too, I might have not been able to treat you the way I could treat you now. I might not have been ready. And I could say the same thing. I mean, because like I said, going back to your question, I got home from the hospital in January of 2009, and I was officially divorced because he tried to keep me in the divorce for a whole extra year. So my divorce papers weren't final till February 17, 2010. So for a year and a half, I'm still legally locked up with somebody who don't really want me and I don't want you. So from 2010 until now, I'm hell on wheels.
Do you ever see
my
him?
friends,
have you ever apologized?
He has reached out and tried, and I did not respond. I don't feel I owe you a response. And since this is live, and if somebody shares it with him, by all means, yes. I was inboxed, and I was said some things. I read it, and I got in my feelings for a minute. Part of me wanted to pick up the phone and call and be like, "Are you serious?" But this is where the adult Renee, the adult Renee stood up and said this. When it comes to domestic violence, and I believe this wholeheartedly, this is about me, not about everybody else, because everybody else has their own journey to walk out. But when it comes to me and what you give perpetrators power, it's all about control. And they can control you, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, or whatever have you. That's how they keep you. So if you allow them to have that power, whether it's because you're scared, whether it's because they got a thumb on you, whether it's because they're holding kids or whatever have you, still allow them to have that power. So when you come to me and apologize for something that you did, that I allowed you to do, What are you apologizing for? So to me, you really don't need to apologize unless you just felt like that's something you need to do for yourself, because I don't owe you no forgiveness and you don't owe me no apology because I allowed you to do it. Again, that's just me. And so, yeah, inbox, I ignored it. We ran into each other. We had a mutual friend that passed away. I seen him in passing. And then I am still somewhat connected to some of his family members. So when my grandfather-in-law passed away about 2 years ago, I had a decent relationship with the man. And so I decided to go pay my respects. And I just went to the funeral home, walked in, looked at him, signed the book, came out. He said a couple words. I just said, God bless you, and walked out. And that was the last time. So
I have to
my thing
commend
is
you.
my thing is, my prayer has always been move on. You didn't want this. You couldn't have wanted this. Because when I told you and I talked to you, because I told you I'm big on communication, regardless of why you felt you should abuse me, regardless of why you get mad because the world is crapping on you outside, or I didn't cook your dinner a certain way, or you think I lied to you about something, or I didn't do a particular thing you didn't like, whatever the reason may be, and you felt like you need to abuse me.
Sometimes people themselves, be abused. Have you ever been abused, molested?
Let him tell it. No. I mean, but I don't know.
Right.
I mean, and that's not something I discussed with his family.
They don't know how to treat people.
Exactly.
I mean, he was the only child, just like I was, but that's not a reason to do whatever have you. So, I mean, it could be a lot of underlying issues. It was never discussed. And again, when I tried to, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I was the best wife that I knew how to be, never being married before. And we started dating when I was 22. So that was most of my young adulthood, so for me to give you that, and like if I said, you come back to apologize, don't apologize. Just, I want you to be happy. You've changed, that you're not abusing anybody else. That's really my prayer. I wish you nothing but the best. I just don't have to be bothered with you. I just don't have to talk to you, and I don't ever have to see you again. And I'm good. We live on two different sides of the world. We really don't run in the same circles anymore. Because again, they decided to stay his friends, not my friends no more. And most of his friends that didn't want to be friends with him no more, that I still communicate with, don't talk to him. We all over here in our happy little bubble. He over there in his. We don't have to commingle. I'm good with that.
I like that. I'm proud of you. I love you. You're my
girl. You
I'm really glad you came out tonight.
Thank you.
And you all need to connect with her. If you have some friends that have been abused, please reach out. Please ask for help. To stop this dry snitching. You don't want to tell. You put everything else on Facebook. Put that out there. If you're scared to ask for help, put it on Facebook. People gossip and lie, so it's going to get out real fast. But again, thank you for coming to CGF
resources.
Tonight.
Thank you.
And it's easy to walk away because we're going to talk really quick about never too much. And if Avis has time, the quick news, tragic news we had this weekend around the world. But walking away is very easy because that's what Jill Scott is doing. She's filing for divorce after only 18 months.
Damn.
Yes, so we got a lot of people that's saying we won't take it, and he probably wasn't man enough for her. That was a little Tony Braxton thing.
Well, you know what? He said that, because she grew up in a house full of women that, he felt like he was overpowered,
Yeah, he just soft. That's all.
Who, Jill Scott, man?
Yeah.
But you know what? She do kind of, okay, listening to her songs, she do seem like she's a very assertive kind of a woman, yeah. Like,
but he knew that. He knew that. You know that going in. I'm sure. He got.
She was the one that said, "If you can't tell me what to do. But if you could tell me what to do, then tell me what to do." Meaning, you got to have some oomph to you if you're gonna come
to be able to handle me.
Well, she also said, "Let's take a long walk and smoke a tree." So, with that being said, he probably couldn't.
She wanted them strong, powerful women.
Exactly.
And she probably didn't know how to handle her. So.
Right. You got to be strong. I mean, he knew what it was going in.
Never know.
I don't think he's going to throw his Jill Scott CD collection.
We all know what we need to get into.
Shout out to Jill. I'm with you, girl.
Yeah.
What's your never too much topic?
My never too much topic is actually, I really want to do it next week because Janae, my daughter, has said that we should talk about violence, but the after effect of the PTSD. And it was funny that post-traumatic, you know, the how it affects kids when you're in a relationship. And I said, we have somebody that's talking about domestic violence today. I said, I'll save it for next week. She said, I'm really in my feelings right now, Mom. You know, so
You know how my baby is.
I know.
Hey,
So
Janae. Hey, Ebony.
I really would like to save my segment for next week. Avis, you can
Well, I'll
the
say
last
mine for
one.
next week too. Y'all
You know
think
what?
y'all is?
Oh,
Shoot.
wow.
No,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know
know.
what? Because I was actually talking with my cousin. I'm gonna kind of sum it up a little
No,
bit. I
but
was actually talking with my cousin about trauma, and we have a mutual friend
that's
that
him trying to get people out quick.
her parents were always like at it, you know, like really at it bad. So now when she hears somebody raises her voice, she can't help but to, and she actually had to go to therapy for that. And they told her that she had PTSD.
Okay, well, we're going to touch on that next week. What'd you say, Cherry? I'm sorry. You were
All the
getting ready to do
killing.
your... Oh,
and
yes. Go ahead.
disrespectful people. You're killing churches. I mean, come on now. So Texas, what, it been like 20 killed so far?
It was half. It was half of the
The totals
church.
are 26.
Yeah, half of the church. The church only had like 80 something members, so he
I mean,
killed
where is the respect?
half of the church.
There is none.
I mean, you know, I remember when we was growing up, you know, we used to curse and we go by church, you be like, "Oh, excuse me, God," you know, we'll call
Right, that's
pass.
phony stuff, right?
I mean, you know, it's like you didn't do certain things in the church, you
Because
didn't, you know, be
it's the way
disrespectful.
they're being raised now. Children are not being raised to be respectful. They're now saying, you have parents out here that are saying, "Oh, not my kid. My little Johnny ain't doing so and so, so and so." They're not. They are, and then they are encouraging. You see some of these parents out here that be like, they little kid out here with the. I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but you know, got the 2 earrings, and you know, he up there holding the mic singing my B, and he 3. He don't even know his ABCs, but he know how to say, you know, my B, my this, and he know every lyric to all these, you know, like song. It's what they're instilling. You can't expect something out of you can't, if you're not putting positive things into the children, you can't expect positive things to come out of them.
Yeah, I get it. But there's a time when you get older and you start to understand life and things all around you, right from wrong.
And taught that, that's not something. Okay, we do have some sense.
You know, like our mothers teach us a lot of things,
but a lot of
that we throw out the back burner when we get grown.
That's the thing. A lot of times these parents are not. It's a trail. You can't. Growing up on the west side,
and sometimes it don't have nothing to do with that. Like the man that's killing,
calling them all kind of names and stuff. You know, and that
but that may not have. I mean, you know, but that may not have. This may be a whole new different situation of this man going in there killing. He may feel like he ain't been loved from his parents, or never been treated well. I mean, you got the kids killing their parents. They feel like they've been too strict and things like that. So it's not always talk, because it's like,
this guy, I think it was more military. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact being he was prior military. He was discharged dishonorably, and now they're looking into doing something with the Air Force because he should not have been able to purchase a gun. But he had with his mother-in-law, because the mother-in-law was causing discord between him and his wife and his child, but they said that he was abusive to the wife and to the child. So I believe now.
That's why I said he snapped off
everything. Yeah, I believe he snapped off.
Like, I mean, even with what you're saying, that they're not taught, then I see if he killed, you know, went on a hate crime or something like that.
But this wasn't, I think he just snapped.
That situation. So that's why I say it could have been something wrong. It's you know, different situations.
But now they pointing fingers at the military now because they supposedly forgot to mention in his record.
They didn't forget. They pulled that
crazy pass, and he was known for being.
They pulled that white card. I don't know.
Yeah, all the time. They all do it. Military, police.
They pulled that.
TTA, post office.
Black man.
Everybody cover everybody.
That paperwork would have hit from here down to all 50 states.
Well, he's probably going to, you know, they're going to say he had mental. Did he kill himself?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so
the neighbor came out and shot him. He drove away, called his dad, and told him he was going to make it, and then he committed suicide.
That's good. That's probably what he should have did in the first place.
All right there.
I mean, I'm just saying, usually people, when they're crazy, a lot of people suffer. You killed babies, young children in that church. It was, to me, it's not that serious. I thank God that I have a stable mind as far as I know.
You know, a lot of people.
I don't condone the killing, but if he was going to kill his mother-in-law, he should have just aimed for his mother-in-law. I mean,
look at you.
No, I said I'm not condoning. I know I'm not
Just keep
condoning.
it 100.
No, because when that man, that black man was going around, he shot that old man because he's mad at his girlfriend. They was like, why did he go kill the girlfriend? No, why did he just? That's violent still. Why did he just?
But what I'm saying is when he went to a church to kill he shouldn't have went in anyway.
But you know, 9 out of 10, when somebody end up killing you, they're always mad at somebody else. I mean, you know, it's just like you can be involved with somebody and everybody could have did them wrong. And they knowing that they should have got the relationship. And they knowing that last part, that person, that's the one that earth the worst. And then he can meet you and you can just trigger that last spark and he can end up killing you instead of the person who didn't take him through all this in the first place. So although he's mad at her,
mental illness,
he's upset. So he probably at that time like, I'm finna just kill, you know, they mad. Too easy to go kill her. Well, so they mad and they trigger off and they get angry. They go start doing stupid stuff.
So we need to pay attention. Like Renee said earlier, pay attention to the signs. If it's in your instinct and you're scared or you see a sign, yes, I'm going to run the other way or I'm going to report it and tell. Again, Renee, I love you. I thank you so much. Give me your handle really quick before we get off the air.
For My Voice Matters on Facebook is the best way to reach me. The number 4, My Voice Matters.
And we want to send our condolences to those families that unfortunately had to go through that pain this weekend. We send a special prayer out to you all, and just special prayer out to all the people that are losing loved ones here in Chicago or anywhere. We love you. Let's pray together. Let's stick together. Stop all this gossiping and let's make a move and do something instead of talking about it and Facebooking it. Let's get together. Let's tell
people's mamas. That's what it is. Mama, give me a like. You know, my man left me today. Like, what's wrong? Like,
we love you, CGF. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.